where those who perceive truth may strive to make others see.
A big, powerful America, and shoot them for what?
On that continent, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other.
I want you to imagine you're in class, and during this lesson, you start to hear a whirring sound, and you can't quite place it in the midst of you actually placing it. The school bell, the school alarm goes off, and you realize you were right. And as you scramble to follow protocol, you realize that this was in fact a drone you were hearing, and you are in imminent danger of a drone attack. We don't hear about it in terms of in the actual evolution that takes place during war, but other than, I think we get peripheral understanding that drones, they do drone attacks in war. But in terms of the technology, the intricacies of really what's produced, a lot of us are disconnected from the idea of what that means in general in terms of an actual drone attack. In terms of this history, drone technology is, it's not new in terms of the technology nowadays. It originated from something really very much how do you say, rudimentary. The idea of a drone attack, or a drone in particular, was really a balloon that was linked up to a radio signal, and that was linked up and hooked up to receive radio signals and drop bombs or weapons or whatever caches. And this idea, it really originated with the idea of Austria and operators really using long copper wires, and the evolution from there in terms of what we see is it's really the army and people who are in war that are on the front lines of really what goes on in terms of anything related to drone technology. You do have interwar developments as well. But mainly the pressure to really innovate comes really from war, and I don't think I think people misunderstand the technological innovation that occurs in times in situations really what happens in this idea of Russia, Ukraine, and how situations like that could potentially lead to innovations that are used that may be used in situations where Israel decides to take this particular technology. We really don't have the background for a lot of these advancements to take place, And that's we as citizens don't necessarily think about what really happens in the airspace in general on a regular as a regular citizen during 2024. But eventually we'll have to regulate. Like, drones are available to a large variety of people now, and this idea of really prevalence, we don't really understand what takes place in terms of the regulations that occur now and that could occur in terms of keeping a lot of airspace free from drone technology. In terms of the developments, in terms of interwar, technology that isn't necessarily military application, we do have agricultural technology. We have agricultural technology in related to to optimize processes like fertilization and really trying to deploy food itself, but also construction and infrastructure. When it comes down to a lot of the technology outside of actually destroying things, they are we do use drone technology to build things, and to get better at building things as well. Entertainment and media is another sector for drone technology to really take off and be used. Of course, creating those beautiful videos and beautiful sites. In terms of another sector, inventory management and logistics, I think is really gives us more insight on really the capabilities of drones in terms of moving components between production lines. And when it comes down to the capability of drones being linked to really jobs that we may view as not really requiring much unskilled labor, period. And I think people are going to have to think about this in terms of the pressure to really get people out of the complications of dealing with people in terms of the pressure for a corporation to start using technologies like this. And this is a real factor when you think about the economic gain that a lot of these companies can gain, that a lot of these companies have to look forward to in terms of getting people out the way. In terms of the economic impact, the adoption of drone technology across various industries has transitioned from a fad to a megatrend. PWC projects, going to have to learn exactly what that is, but PWC projects that drone solutions could replace $127 billion in current business services. I think that's in terms of really the numbers, the idea of what drones do and what they can do. This is in terms of the impact of really what we're seeing here right now. We don't see the landscape that's being created with these technologies. We, in terms of they don't we don't have that. That's not a lot of these policies aren't in the front lines because, like I said, we don't realize what it takes to keep a lot of our airspace clear from drone technology anyway. The idea of drones and themselves, but this number, this means a lot to to really corporations and businesses that are trying to get us um get people out the way. In terms of, in military, you're thinking about less people in harm's way for from an actual enemy combatant. A lot of these corporations are thinking about this element of inventory management and logistics, getting people out the harm's way, so they don't have to worry about a lot of safety regulations that they have to worry about, for really anybody really doing a lot of labor. They don't have to worry about that, and they don't have to worry about getting sued when they don't necessarily do their due diligence and safety. In terms of really the impact here, in terms of really understanding drones and drone technology, is really, I hope that people listen to reports like this and decide that to really take up a more constructive use. And really, because when the military is on the front lines, there's a lot of we like to assume that there's a lot of red tape involved in terms of getting this, making sure that this doesn't fall into the wrong hands. But in terms of corruption in general, I do think that we have to be more proactive, and this element of drones and drone bombings and drone strikes are, of course, a center focus. But really, the element of what drones can do for people and humanity in general should be really, really a focus for a lot more people. I'm particularly excited about the idea of what it can do in building and really construction in general. But even if it goes beyond that, in terms of, rather than a lot of the when it comes down to agriculture, of course, pesticides, I think we have to think more about these things, because when it comes down to America is very good at keeping us separate from the decision making that goes on by governing bodies. And it's grown to be that way for a number of reasons. But in terms of the pressure to do things, to follow any type of guideline, to be more constructive, that pressure comes from us as citizens, as people. And I really, really hope that you guys, that anyone listening or listeners would appreciate drone technology enough to go into maybe their own field and do their own thing with drone technology, and see the good that can come out of really advancements and really control the advancements that are made, and possibly create new advancements. Thank you for listening. This has been Sleepy, your bookman for this report, and I'll see you next time. Bye.